Welcome back to the Blues HQ, where true Chelsea passion lives. Get the latest updates, match reactions, player insights, and all the drama surrounding the Blues, all in one place. Whether you're celebrating victories or analysing every moment, this is your home for everything Chelsea. Don't just watch football, experience it with us. Subscribe and be part of the journey. Chelsea fans call for Roman Abramovich's return, as frustration with Blue co-ownership boils over. In recent months, a growing wave of discontent has been building among supporters of Chelsea Football Club. Chants from the stands, heated debates across social media, and emotional radio phone-ins all carry the same message. Many fans believe the club has lost its identity under the current ownership and are calling for the return of former owner Roman Abramovich. The frustration is directed squarely at Blue Co, the consortium that took over the club following Abramovich's departure. What was initially greeted with cautious optimism has, for a significant section of the fan base, turned into disappointment, confusion, and even anger. The phrase, "Bring Roman back," has increasingly been heard around Stamford Bridge, a stadium that once symbolised dominance and ambition, but now feels, to some supporters, like a theatre of uncertainty. This article explores the roots of that frustration, the contrast between the Abramovich era and the current regime, and the broader implications for Chelsea's future. The Abramovich era: success, stability, and silverware. When Roman Abramovich purchased Chelsea in 2003, the club entered a new chapter. His arrival marked the beginning of unprecedented investment and ambition. In the years that followed, Chelsea transformed from a competitive English side into a European powerhouse. Under Abramovich, Chelsea won multiple domestic titles, including 5 Premier League crowns, as well as FA Cups and League Cups. The crowning achievements were 2 UEFA Champions League triumphs, victories that cemented the club's status among Europe's elite. Abramovich's model was clear: invest heavily, demand excellence, and make decisive changes when necessary. Managers came and went, sometimes abruptly, but trophies continued to arrive. For many fans, the formula worked. The club was feared, respected, and consistently competitive. There was also a sense of direction. Even when managerial changes occurred, supporters felt there was a central vision driven by ownership that prioritized success on the pitch above all else. The forced sale and a new beginning Abramovich's tenure ended abruptly amid geopolitical turmoil and sanctions that made his continued ownership untenable. Chelsea was put up for sale under extraordinary circumstances, and uncertainty loomed over the club's future. Eventually, Blue Co emerged as the successful bidder. Led by American investor Todd Boehly and backed by Clearlake Capital, the consortium promised a new era of innovation, sustainability, and long-term growth. Initially, many fans were willing to give the new ownership time. The circumstances of the sale were complex and emotionally charged. Supporters understood that rebuilding might be necessary, but patience in football is a fragile commodity. Heavy spending, little cohesion. One of the most confusing aspects of the Blue Co era has been the scale of spending combined with inconsistent results. Chelsea embarked on an aggressive transfer strategy, investing vast sums in young talents on long-term contracts. The club's spending figures ranked among the highest in Europe over successive transfer windows. On paper, the approach suggested ambition. In reality, the squad often looked unbalanced. New players arrived in waves, while experienced figures departed. Continuity suffered. Managers struggled to establish a stable starting 11. Tactical identities shifted repeatedly. Fans began asking difficult questions. If so much money was being spent, why did performances appear disjointed? Why did promising signings fail to click as a cohesive unit? Why did it feel as though the club was conducting a long-term experiment rather than competing for immediate honours? The disconnect between financial investment and on-field performance has been a central source of frustration. Managerial instability returns, without the trophies. Ironically, one of the criticisms often aimed at Abramovich was his impatience with managers. Yet under his ownership, managerial changes frequently resulted in silverware. The dismissal of a coach often preceded a trophy lift months later. Under Blue Co, managerial turnover has continued, but without the same immediate rewards. The departure of Champions League winning coach Thomas Tuchel shocked many fans. Subsequent appointments struggled to steady the ship, leading to further upheaval. For supporters, the difference lies in outcomes. During the Abramovich era, ruthless decisions often produced tangible success. In the current era, changes have seemed reactive rather than strategic. Without trophies to justify instability, the churn feels chaotic. A shift in philosophy. Blueco's approach appears rooted in modern football economics. Sign young players, secure them on long-term deals, develop talent, and build asset value. From a business perspective, it reflects a sustainable model designed to comply with financial regulations and reduce long-term risk. However, football supporters are driven by emotion as much as economics. Chelsea fans grew accustomed to competing for the Premier League title every season. They expect deep runs in Europe. They measure progress in medals, not balance sheets. The tension between business logic and sporting expectation has never been more evident. Competing in the Premier League demands both strategic planning and immediate excellence. It is arguably the most competitive domestic league in the world. Clubs cannot afford prolonged transition periods without consequences. When results falter, patience evaporates. Identity crisis. Beyond results, many supporters feel the club's identity has been diluted. During Abramovich's tenure, Chelsea became synonymous with resilience, defensive solidity, and a winning mentality. The team developed a psychological edge in big matches. Today, critics argue that Chelsea appear uncertain, a collection of talented individuals still searching for collective character. Some fans miss the presence of strong veteran leaders who embodied the club's ethos. Others lament the departure of academy graduates who symbolized continuity. The sense of belonging, they argue, has been weakened by constant change. The emotional connection to Abramovich. For a large segment of supporters, the call for Abramovich's return is not merely about trophies, it is about trust. Abramovich was often described as a hands-on, but ultimately football-focused owner. He attended key matches, celebrated victories passionately, and was visibly invested in the club's success. Over nearly 2 decades, he became intertwined with Chelsea's modern history. Many fans associate their greatest footballing memories with his era. The new ownership, despite public statements and stadium appearances, has not yet built that same emotional bond. Financial fair play and modern constraints. It is important to acknowledge that football's financial landscape has changed dramatically since 2003. Regulatory frameworks are stricter. Spending without strategic planning can lead to sanctions. Blueco operates in a far more scrutinized environment. Long-term contracts and youth investment are, in part, responses to evolving financial regulations. Supporters demanding a return to Abramovich-style spending may overlook these structural differences. Yet football is rarely rational. Nostalgia is powerful. When the present feels unstable, the past appears golden. Divided fan base. Not all Chelsea supporters agree that longing for Abramovich is the answer. Some argue that the club needs time to stabilise. They point out that building a young squad is inherently risky, but could yield rewards if given patience. Others caution against romanticising the past. They note that Abramovich's departure was not a voluntary choice, and that a return is legally and politically improbable. Still, the vocal frustration cannot be ignored. Protests, banners, and online campaigns reflect genuine dissatisfaction. The broader Premier League context. Chelsea's struggles have unfolded in an era where rivals have strengthened considerably. Clubs such as Manchester City and Liverpool have established cohesive, long-term projects. Arsenal have rebuilt strategically. Newcastle United have invested significantly under new ownership. The margin for error in the Premier League is razor-thin. Dropped points accumulate quickly. A season that begins with optimism can spiral into disappointment within weeks. In such a competitive environment, supporters crave stability and clarity. Communication gaps. Another recurring criticism aimed at Blueco is perceived inconsistency in communication. Fans often express confusion about the club's long-term plan. Is the objective immediate contention or gradual development? Is the focus on youth or experience? Clear messaging can ease transitional pain. Ambiguity amplifies it. Under Abramovich, while not always transparent, the objective was unmistakable. Win now. The improbability of a return. Despite emotional calls from supporters, the prospect of Abramovich returning to Chelsea appears highly unlikely. Legal constraints, geopolitical realities, and ownership agreements make such a scenario remote. Blueco holds contractual control of the club. Any reversal would require extraordinary circumstances, yet the chance persists, less as a realistic proposal and more as a symbolic protest against current frustrations. Lessons for Blueco. The growing discontent offers valuable lessons for Chelsea's ownership. Stability matters. Frequent changes undermine cohesion. Experience has value. Youthful squads need seasoned leadership. Clear communication builds trust. Fans want to understand the vision. Results remain paramount. In elite football, performance validates strategy.